What's going on, YouTube? I'm back at it again with another video. Today I'm going to talk about the United States inflation reaching a 40-year high as of 8.6% as food and gas and shelter costs rise here in the United States. And let me go by saying this. I'm really feeling the effects of the economy because, especially now as an adult, because I remember when food and gas was like high back in the 2000s when I was a teenager. Nowadays, because back then I wasn't really feeling the effects of the economy at that time. At that point in my life, I'm really making much money. Now as an adult, you really see how, or I really see how inflation can really hurt your pockets because when you see the price of something you usually buy go up $3, $4, $5, you look at it like, oh man, I don't even know if I want to get this now. But anyways, let's get into the article courtesy of The Guardian. Inflation rate sends stock markets into tailspin as S&P 500 falls over 2% and NASDAQ over 3.5%. Inflation in the United States rose unexpectedly last month to a fresh four-decade high of 8.6%. The Labor Department said on Friday the latest consumer price index figure shows that the cost of living increased by 1 percentage point from April and was broad-based, with the index for shelter, gasoline, and food being the largest contributors. Gas prices have been soaring across the United States, approaching $5 a gallon this week, $1.90 more than a year ago. According to the latest CPI report, the energy index rose 3.9% over the month, with the gasoline in 4.1%. Other major component indexes also increased. The food index rose 1.2% in May as the food home index rise was driven by sharp increases in energy costs, which was 34.6% from a year earlier, and groceries, which jumped 11.9% on the year. Food and energy prices are more volatile than any other categories, including the CPI, and the Labor Department publishes a core prices index which excludes them. It rose 0.6% from April. The news sent stock markets into a tailspin. S&P 500 and Dow Jones indices fell over 2%, and the tech-heavy NASDAQ was down over 3.5%. Inflation fears have also battered Joe Biden's poll numbers, and his administration has sought to blame Russia's invasion of Ukraine for rising prices. The war in Ukraine and the contributed disruption to global trade caused by the coronavirus pandemic have both contributed to rising prices for food and energy, but there were worrying signs of inflation spreading. Shelter costs were up 5.5% compared to a year ago. After the 3 months of declines, prices of used cars, trucks rose 1.8% May from April and are up 16.1% of the year. Now, I'm not going to read this entire article, but I pretty much get the gist of what's going on. I'll leave a link to this if you want to read the rest of it yourself. Now, to be honest with you guys, this inflation thing has gotten out of control ever since this was going on before. I don't see why they try to blame the Russia-Ukraine war personally, because this was going on. Food was going up, gas was going up before this whole Russia-Ukraine war thing was even going down. So to me, that using that as an excuse is just complete BS. That's just my opinion. But you can let me know what you think about that in the comment section down below. Honestly, I've also heard stories about gas potentially doubling by the end of the summer this year, along with food prices increasing another 30% or more, which means whatever we're paying now, like in my area, gas is like maybe $4.39 on the low end and maybe $4.99 on the high end here in Memphis. In some spots, $6. I think California is already at $10. So if those prices double, which means that gas will be $20 a gallon in California, and between $8 to $10 in most southern states, maybe up in the Midwest, maybe $10, who knows? And then food prices are going to be insane too. So a gallon of milk might cost you $10 to $12. A dozen eggs might cost you $10, $15. Who knows out there? Now I hope this does not happen. But with the way, things going, and not to mention, earlier this week when I was getting gas, there's a gas station not too far from me. it was at like 439 like this past Tuesday, and then I think yesterday, Thursday, it went up to like 469. So that's a 30-cent jump within 48 hours. That is insane. And I know a lot of Americans right now, are hurting right now because of the a lot of the food shortages. I think the food shortages might get worse too. We already most like mothers with newborns, they already can't get their kids or infants, excuse me, baby formula to feed their infants and things like that. I mean, remember what happened with the whole toilet paper and paper towel shortages from 2020 and maybe early parts of 2021. But that's all I want to say about that, man. It's getting wild out here. But you guys let me know what you think in the comment section below.